There you go.
Anything? You guys decide. I'll give you a story.
Have you witnessed a murder or anything?
Have I witnessed a murder? I've seen someone get shot. Well, technically they died, so does that count?
I guess. I mean.
So yes, I've witnessed a murder.
Technically,
before.
they died. Like you don't know if they died for real.
That's right.
I was riding home from work. It was this past summer, you know.
Oh,
and I was on my way home from work, and like I'm looking, and like there's this black truck, and there's this kid just walking down the street, you know, all calm and minding his own damn business. And all of a sudden, next thing you see the truck slow down, and you see, well, I didn't see the window roll down because it was like in front of me.
Why does this sound like a movie? Because you
said
said the kid.
Because it feels like a movie. That's what living in Muskega Heights is like, being in a damn hood movie.
What's that one movie called? When it's that
literally,
little
they just
kid.
lit him up. He got shot like 5 times, and he died. I'm pretty sure he died right there on the spot. It was pretty crazy. Here's a really good one. I'm gonna tell you, it's a long one though. So I was one night. I was probably like 11 or 12. I'm gonna die a lot doing this. 11. Oh, good, the game's over. Oh, dang, I didn't make top 3. That sucks. How many needed? Oh, I need.
Say the story.
Okay. I am. Give me a second. I'm in the middle of a game. Okay, so I was like 12, and it was me, my friend Ace, my friend Roscoe, who at the time was on probation.
You're saying movies now.
No, his real name is Roscoe. He actually
I don't
worked at
believe
Little I just
you.
saw him earlier. What is Roscoe's real name? What is Roscoe's real name? Man, what is Roscoe? Hold up, I'll look him up online so I can tell you his real name.
How do you not know
I
your
literally called him
friend's
Roscoe.
real name?
I called him Roscoe my entire life. Why can I not remember? Darkitis. That's his real name. His real name is Darkitis. It was me, Ace, and Ace is my best friend's name is Ace. His name is Ace Green. He's been my best friend since I was 9.
Oh, that's a cool name.
It is, right? And everybody, that's the first thing people ask. They're like, bro, is your name actually Ace? Did your parents actually name you Ace? Yes, they named him Ace. So it was me, Ace, Darkitis, and Willie. Willie's my roommate's brother.
Big Willie?
No, actually, Willie was the smallest of all of us, but yeah, you can say that. So
Small Willie!
So it's like 10 o'clock, and we're all between the ages of like 14 and 17, because Willie and Darkitis were older than me and Ace. We were the youngest, and one was 1 year older, and the other one was other year older. Like Willie was a year older, and Darkitis was 2 years older. So Darkitis at the time was on probation. For what I can't remember, but he was on probation. They had him on house arrest. Well, not on house arrest, but they had him on a tether. And he was at our house, and we're all wrestling upstairs in my bedroom, and his tether breaks. Like, we break his tether off on accident. And we're like, bro, you need to go down to the police station and tell them, you know, so they don't think you're like, you know, running away or something. He's like, whatever, I'll do it later. So like an hour later, we're like, you know what? Let's walk to Lake Michigan. My house, my mom's house where I stayed at the time, is about, I don't know, I'd say 6 or 7 miles from Lake Michigan, which isn't that far, you know, really, to walk. So it's like 10 o'clock. We're like, okay, let's go to Lake Michigan. So we start walking down Summit, and Summit will take you all the way to Lake Michigan, like it'll literally take you there, but you have to jump a couple fences when you almost get there. So we get all the way down Summit, like 6 miles down the road, and there's this barbed wire fence, and we're like, fuck it, let's jump it. Let's see what's behind the barbed wire fence. So we jump the barbed wire fence, and we keep walking. Right.
Right.
So we get out there, and it's like these $5 million houses. Like, we're looking at the front of the house. Actually, it's the back of the house because it faces Lake Michigan. And the entire back wall of the house is nothing but glass pane windows. Like, you can see through the whole house. But nobody was there because it was like October. It might have been November. It was pretty close to my birthday. And we're like, you know, we're just gonna sit here for like an hour. So we're all like big and bad. We're just sitting out on their nice, you know, $10,000 deck furniture because it was so nice, dude. After like 45 minutes, we're like, all right, let's go do something else. So we leave there, and we're walking, you know, down Lake Michigan, because Lake Michigan has like a pier that runs along the whole thing, and then you can go out to the actual pier. So we're walking down the pier and everything, and it's like 4 o'clock in the morning at this time. Like, we're all tired. We're like sitting on the benches like, bro, just give me like 15 minutes, man. I'm gonna get up in like 15 minutes. Just wake me up, okay? So after like 20 minutes of this, we're like, all right, look, let's start going back home. But at this point in time, we took a different road. So we were downtown because Muskegon split up into the Norton Shores, Muskegon, and Muskegon Heights. We were downtown in Muskegon, which we didn't spend very much time because
So many Muskegons.
if you know anything about Muskegon and Muskegon Heights, they don't like each other. So people that go to Heights can't go downtown unless you feel like getting into a fight or jump. So we avoided downtown for the most part unless we were in big groups. So we're like, fuck it, let's go. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. What's the worst that could happen? So we're walking through this. We end up getting lost.
And
Have
we was
no
in
idea
for
where
a
we
treat.
are. Because you know, black people, we suck at directions. So we get
Right.
lost.
Never want to ask for
It's
directions though.
and we're not asking for directions. So after like an hour of us walking around in a big ass circle, we literally ended up right back at the beach where we were at. So we're like, fuck it, we're gonna go back the way we came. So we took the main summit back down. But when you get down it, there used to be a Blockbuster, you know, when Blockbuster was still around.
Yeah.
So we're
I think
about a
there's one where I
mile.
live at.
We're about a mile and a half from my house. And I forgot to tell you, my one friend Hanks is with us. Hanks is the dumbass that always does
shoot.
all this stupid shit. Right. Because
Oh,
I forgot he
Hanks.
was with us. So Hanks is the person that, like, if we walk past the house and he doesn't think anyone lives there, he's going to punch all the windows out. Just
What?
because he's that, yes, he's that. I used to be like,
He's
Hanks, why are
that
you so
guy.
dumb? Why do you do
Hanks,
dumb
why are you
shit
dumb?
like that? Oh no, damn it, I just died. I'm dying because I'm losing so bad. Okay, so Hanks is with us. We walk past we walk past Blockbuster, and Roscoe's in the very front of us. Then it's me, Ace, and Willie walking together. And then like a block behind us is Hanks. We get about a half a block past Blockbuster, and all of a sudden we hear big ass glass
What's that?
window just bust. That was Hanks deciding he was gonna throw a big ass rock through the Blockbuster window.
What?
Okay, so this is where the story gets interesting at. This is where the law breaking begins. Okay, so like we all run and hide. We're like, oh my god, the police are about to come. You know, Blockbuster has alarms, whatever. So we run and hide. The police don't come. We sit there for like 10, 15, 20 minutes past. You know, no police show up. I'm like, all right, look, here's what we're gonna do. I used to be bad. I'm just gonna say this now. I was like, we're gonna walk down to Walmart. Not Walmart, Myers. This is before they had built the Walmart. We're gonna walk down to Myers. We're gonna go get a bunch of fucking plastic baggies. And if we go back down here and there ain't no police, we're just gonna go in we're gonna go into Blockbuster. You know, they got all these video games, movies, PlayStation 3s. So we go get the baggies. We walk down to Walmart. We walk back down to Blockbuster for Myers. And there's no police there yet. Nothing. Like, no lights on, not a single thing. So I'm like, all right, look, here's how we're going to do this. Because I knew my friend Hanks was the dumbest one. He didn't care. I'm like, Hanks, you're going to go in. And Ace, you're going to go in. Because Ace, you and Hanks are the fastest. I was like, well, here's the thing. Roscoe, who was with us when this happened, as soon as he saw it, he was like, nope, fuck y'all, I'm out. I ain't going to jail. So he left. And me and Willie was slow, and I was the smartest one. So I was like, look, I'll be lookout. Willie will be my other lookout. But it was so late in the morning, like the sun was getting ready to come up. So halfway through this, Willie passes out. So it's just me looking. So I'm like, okay, Hank, what I want you to do, I want you to go in there and I want you to grab all of the new release DVDs. I was like, don't grab no video games because they don't put the video games in the case. You know, no video game place put games in the case. So I was like, what you're going to do is go in there and get all the DVDs. I was like, Ace, what I want you to do is I want you to go in there and, damn it, I died. I want you to
Wait,
go
why
in there.
did Willie pass out? He sleep?
Because it was 6 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, he sleep.
We hadn't been up all
Willie
day.
Sleep.
Right, Willie sleep. And what's so funny is like there's this little storage building around the corner from Blockbuster, and he fell asleep on this little, like somebody had took the back seat out of a truck or a car or something. He would sleep on it. So like Ace and Hanks go in because I'm like, Hanks, go get the DVDs. Ace, go in there and look for the PlayStation 3s and Xbox 360s. You know, they should be in big black boxes. So he goes in there. He comes back out and says, bro, the phone rang. He's like, I didn't answer it, but he's like, the phone rang. I was like, it was most likely the security people because they must have motion alarms. Like, you know, they're probably calling to see who's there. I was like, nobody answered. So as I'm telling him this, Hanks is running out of the window with this big ass bag. I'm like, okay, good. Hank's got all the movies. Nope. Hanks's dumbass grabbed all of the game cases that they had in there.
Oh,
Like all the PlayStation 2 game cases. So we didn't have not a single game.
Stupid Hank.
Right, stupid Hanks. He comes out and then he looks, he's like, look, I'm like, bro, open one. Just open one. He opens it, not nothing. As I'm telling him, like, as I'm saying, Hanks, you're stupid, and I'm like, Ace, you know, they probably have the PlayStation 3s locked up. That's why you didn't find them. The freaking Norton Shores police come flying around the corner with their lights on, like hauling ass, like burning rubber. It was so funny. And we're sitting across the street watching him, and he's like got his like his little green, not his green, like his little spotlight on, and he's like got his little voice thing. He's like, "Come out, I know you're in there, blah blah." And as soon as he turned the spotlight towards like away from the building, we thought he saw us, and we all took off running. So
Dang.
but we all got like separated. So me and Ace ran together all the way back to my mom's house, which is like a mile and a half. We ran a whole mile and a half at 6 o'clock in the morning, jumping fences and everything. I could have swore we were Jackie Chan, dude. It was hilarious. We were like one leg jumping privacy fences.
Dual
So
flip
we get
over
back to the
fences.
house.
Hua, hua.
The first person back to the house is me and Ace. We're outside waiting for the rest of them. The next person to come
Wait,
up is Hanks.
why is there a dude in my lobby called Big Chan?
Hey, maybe he's a big Chinese dude. So,
No.
we're waiting for them to get there. Hanks pulls up. Hanks walks up, and he's got a giant gash on his arm. He cut his arm wide open on the freaking window when he jumped through it, or jumped back out of it, I guess. And then all of a sudden, Willie pops up. After like an hour of us waiting, we're like, where the fuck is Roscoe at? Roscoe should have been here. He left like 3 hours ago. So we all like, all right, screw it. We're just gonna go to bed. We get up the next morning. Roscoe got arrested, and they charged Roscoe with breaking into Blockbuster.
Yay.
and he had nothing to do with it. Like he left. So when they started asking him, he snitched on us. He snitched on all of us.
Wow.
But he messed up with his little "I'm gonna snitch on y'all." He gave him the wrong people's names. He gave him me and Ace's name, and he gave him Hank's name. But instead of giving him Willie's name, he gave him Richard's name instead. So Richard was the first one they went to. Richard was the first one they went to question. And when they questioned him, he had a rock hard alibi, like, because he didn't want to come with us, so he was at home. So his whole family was like, no, Richard was at home the whole time. You know, he never left. So at that point in time, the police were like, oh, they already stopped believing Roscoe. Like, well, he lied about that name, so what else did you lie about? Because at first I was like, you know, it's fucked up that they're trying to make Roscoe go to jail for something he didn't do. But then I'm like, he freaking snitched on all of us. So I was like, Hanks, here's what you're going to do. You were going to tell them that it was you and Roscoe. Just be like, it was us, you know. The rest of them, none of the rest of them were there. I don't know what he's talking about, you know. Because, like, Hanks couldn't get away with it. There's nothing Hanks could do. They had his blood, his DNA.
Dang.
Because he cut his arm on the window. So they go to his house and everything. They ask him everything. And he tells them that, well, since they had Roscoe in custody, they pretty much, and Hanks was a minor, like he was only 15 at the time, they just dropped all charges on Hanks. Ended up charging Roscoe with the whole thing. And Roscoe ended up doing the entire summer in jail for that.
Wow. That sucks.
All because, and here's the thing, all because he wouldn't go up to the police station and get a new freaking tether. Because if he would have had a tether on, they would have known he wasn't there. And that's just one of the many
I think I would have
stupid things I
snitched
did
too
as a child.
if I got in trouble for something that I wasn't even.
What did he do when he got out of jail?
If he wouldn't have lied, if he would have just said I wasn't there, they couldn't have proved he was there, and he would have actually got off. But by the simple fact him making up a story that he knew nothing really about, because he left as soon as the window got broke, it looked really bad on his part. So now it made it easier to convict him.
Yeah. When he came out of jail, what did he say to you? Did he even talk to you?
We almost beat the living shit out of him the first day we saw him.
Dang.
It was me and Ace, and we're like, is that Roscoe? Oh, let's go get his ass. So we walked over there, and he's like, the first thing he says is, bro, I swear to God, I didn't snitch on y'all. It was my granny. And all we can think is, why would you tell your granny?
Well, you can't lie to your granny. You can lie to your granny. Think about it.
No, all he had to do was say this. I left them at about 4:30 in the morning. We were walking past Blockbuster. I don't know what they did after that. That would have been him telling the truth.
true,
Bro,
but like
why is PlayStation
when you
so,
panic,
so retarded?
when you panic, you can't tell the truth like that.
He couldn't do it. What happened?
All right, well I'm gonna save that
Did I
video clip.